Hey guys, what's up? Welcome you all class 10th student in our next session of acid, base and salt. Today we are going to study about preparation of salt. You know, acid and base will combine together to form salt and water, and this reaction is called neutralization reaction. So here in the series we are just going to study about how salt is prepared. So here today we are going to cover the preparation of salt. Preparation of salt by direct union of element. You know that first principle is by direct union of element. How this is possible? If Fe iron solid combined with Cl2 gas, it form FeCl3 solid. This become what? Ferric chloride salt. In the same, if sodium metal Na solid react with Cl2 gas to form NaCl solid, this is what called direct combination of element. The second is by action of acid on metal. By action of acid on metal. Guys, whenever acid react with metal, it also forms salt and some hydrogen gas evolve along with it. So by example, Zn plus H2SO4, it forms ZnSO4 plus H2. In what happened in this case, zinc metal combined with sulfuric acid form zinc sulfate, which is salt, and hydrogen gas is evolved. So this is salt. Which kind of salt? Metal. So zinc sulfate, salt of zinc and sulfate. Basic radical is zinc and acidic radical is sulfate. You can also write another example, Mg plus HCl to form MgCl2 plus H2 gas. This is again what happens when magnesium metal react with hydrochloric acid for magnesium chloride and hydrogen gas. Magnesium chloride is also a salt and the family is cation is magnesium and anion is chlorine. So it is called chloride salt. This is sulfate salt. And the third preparation method is by combination of acidic or basic oxide. By combination of acidic and basic oxide. When two different kind of oxides combine together to form. For example, SO3 aqueous is an acidic oxide or gas. SO3 gas is acidic oxides, and I'm just going to react it with metal oxides, which ZnO is basic oxides. When acidic oxides combine with basic oxides, it form ZnSO4. This is the salt. Another example is CO2 when combined with CaO, calcium oxide, it forms CaCO3. This is what? Calcium carbonate, again salt of carbonate family. Okay, so when acidic or basic oxides combine together, it again form salt, and the salt is called mix up of acidic and basic oxides. By action of acid on oxides, when acid react with oxide, what happens? I think you all have noted down this. Now let's move. Let's move to the next one. The fourth method for the preparation of salt is by action of acid on oxide. Fourth is action of acid on oxide. In this process, Oxide is maybe metal oxide or basic oxide. Action of acid on basic oxides. Basic oxides. Basic oxides basically metal oxides. So here MgO is a metal oxides and treated with H2SO4. What happens? MgSO4 plus H2 gas liberated. So this is the process by which they form. You can write another example. For example, FeO, ferrous oxide, when treated with HCl, it again form ferrous chloride, FeCl2 and H2 gas. This is what we are talking about. Again, this become water, not gas. Here the byproduct is water. So this is the reaction of when acid react with the basic oxides to form this one. Okay, now the fifth method is by action of acid on hydroxide. By action of acid on hydroxide. Hydroxide must be metal hydroxide. For example, zinc hydroxide treated with HCl, it forms ZnCl2 plus H2O, 2 molecule of water. Okay, so this is the example of action of acid on hydroxides. Basically hydroxides is metal hydroxides. You may write another example also. Okay, here large number of water molecule get evolved. Now the next one is by action of acid on carbonates or bicarbonates. By action of acids on carbonates or bicarbonates. When acid react with carbonate, for example CaCO3 on treatment with HCl, what happens? CaCl2 plus H2O plus CO2. What happens when acid react with carbonate or bicarbonate? It forms salt, water and carbon dioxide gas. We can clearly see in this example. Here also calcium carbonate is a carbonate and treated with HCl, this form this. Again, if we are talking about sodium hydrogen NaHCO3, sodium hydrogen carbonate, again it is treated with HCl, it forms what? NaCl plus sodium hydrogen carbonate NaCl H2O plus CO2. Again, this become very easier to understand. So this is the mechanism by which we can do. Now the displacement of metal. The seventh method for the preparation of salt is displacement of metal. Displacement of metal. How it is formed by displacement of metal? Let's see. What's happened if we are talking about CuSO4 and treated with iron? What happens? FeSO4 is formed and Cu. This is what the displacement reaction in which more reactive metal displaces less reactive metal. Here Fe is more reactive, thus it replaces Cu from CuSO4 and form FeSO4 salt. And again this is what displacement reaction. You may also write FeSO4 again when treated with more reactive. Magnesium is more reactive than iron, then it's again transform what? MgSO4 plus Fe. Magnesium again treated with calcium, it becomes calcium sulfate and magnesium metal, and so on. This reaction is going on. With the help of reactivity series, you can track the reaction up to what level the reaction is going to complete. Okay, the next is by action of alkalis on metal. Alkalis means base. Base means हाइड्रोक्साइड्स ग्रुप 1 ग्रुप 2 एसिड्स की बात कर रहे हैं, तो क्या है हमारा, बाय द एक्शन ऑफ alkalis on metal. Let's see what's happened when Zn treated with NaOH sodium, it forms sodium zincate, Na2ZnO2 plus hydrogen gas. This is what sodium zincate is, a very popular compound. Most of the time this asked in a CBSE examination or objective class, objective test, type test. Very important questions for the both competition and the board examination. Let's we see some another example. For example, aluminium metal on treatment with alkali NaOH in presence of water. What happened? NaAlO3 plus hydrogen gas. This is the reaction by which we can easily understood what's going on. So go through it. The next process is by double displacement. By double displacement, for example, and precipitation, you can say in case of PPT, case of precipitation, in case of precipitation, in short, we say that PPT. For example, zinc chloride ZnCl2 aqueous when react with Ag2SO4 silver sulfate aqueous, it forms AgCl as a PPT plus ZnSO4 aqueous as a salt. Got it? This is what we are talking about. This is the PPT, white PPT, silver chloride. We have got white PPT over here. Let's see another example. When barium chloride BaCl2 aqueous on treated with Na2SO4 sodium sulfite aqueous, it's again combined to form barium sulfate PPT, white PPT of barium sulfate plus NaCl aqueous. Got it? So this is, and the next process is by the action of an by oxidation or reduction. By oxidation and reduction. How this is done? Let's see. Sodium sulfate Na2SO4 when treated with carbon, solid. What happened? Sodium sulfite plus CO, carbon monoxide. Go through the reaction. What happens? This one, oxygen is being balanced and sodium sulfite is also balanced over here. This is what in this case what happened, carbon get oxidized to form CO and sodium sulfite reduced to form sodium sulfide, sodium sulfate reduced to form sodium sulfide. So this is the way by which we can understood the oxidation reduction reaction. If you want, you can write some another example too. For example, Pb lead sulfide is a solid on treatment with oxygen gas. What happened? Pb SO4 solid, lead sulfide. This is what the lead sulfide get oxidized and oxygen get reduces. So this is by oxidation or reduction. You can say that here mostly the oxidation is observed in this case, right? Now the next one is very final and important topic is by action of acid, by the action of an acid on salt. This is what neutralization reaction. For example, we have already learned about that NaCl is a salt. Firstly, this one is treated with H2SO4. What happens? Aqueous, this form NaHSO4, aqueous and HCl. What happens here? The acid is sodium hydrogen sulfate in H2S, but again in the final product acid become HCl. So there is interchanging. The salt of sodium chloride converted into sodium hydrogen sulfate. So this is the most important topic. For example, KNO3 potassium nitrate on treatment with H2SO4, aqueous. What happened on treated with KHSO4 plus HNO3. This is what we are going to talking about. This is the process by which we can understand how the action of an acid on salt give another salt or different kind of salt. And the last one is by reaction of acid and base. By reaction of acid and base. Very important here, NaOH on treated with HCl, salt and water. This is the important reaction. This is called also neutralization reaction. Now after this level we are able to solve several small type of questions like what is salt, name the reaction of an acid and a base. What is called the reaction of an acid or a base? It is called neutralization reaction. And you are very much familiar with the name of salt. For example, this has become sodium chloride, potassium hydrogen sulfate, lead sulfate, sodium sulfide, and so on. You can also identify the family, the group and the class of the salt very easily. And after study that, we have already learned about the pH solution. So on the basis of strength of pH, we are able to understand what is the strength of acid, base or salt. So now we are going to, in our next session, we are going to study about some important compound of salt. For example, sodium chloride, sodium hydroxide, bleaching powder, washing soda, baking soda, okay, potassium and so on. So we'll do in our next video. Till then, bye bye and ciao. Stay safe at your home and stay quarantined. Thank you and bye bye.